everybody to this tutorial. Today I am actually going to create a cron job where we will define when it will actually run. So we will say, okay, either every minute or every hour or I don't know, every day or something of a kind. Doesn't really matter. What is important is that we will create a cron job. In addition to the cron job, I will create a bash script which will run along it. Now, I won't actually describe what the bash script is, how to make it, etc. Now, we will cover that in the regular expression part of the course, and there I will cover such things in far greater detail. But for the time being, I just needed a sample to actually utilize it in order to run this thing, in order to create some sort of a meaningful cron job that can perform an action which we can actually see. Also, I will schedule it to run every minute so that we can see the results as opposed to scheduling it to run every hour, which would be far more realistic. But I will show you how to schedule them like on an hourly basis, for example, or a monthly basis or something of a kind. It's quite simple. Now, let me just go ahead and exit this file. Oops, I'm in insert mode, so quit and force quit. Do not save anything. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. Now, one of the first things that we need to do, aside from creating a cron job, we need to create a script that's gonna run. So I'm gonna do ls. Okay, I have already tried this out. Have encountered some minor trivial problems, but all is well. Let's go rf. And this is also a neat way to delete things, but also quite dangerous because once I do this, it's gone permanently. As I've described it before, it will be very difficult for you to recover anything. And I have also deleted it with wildcard at the end, so pretty much anything that contains not contains, but any file that begins with this and ends with pretty much anything will get deleted there. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and skip the explanation of that as I have already explained it. I wouldn't want to bore you or anything of a kind. Now we're going to go ahead, now we're gonna do ls and go into, where did I put that folder for myself? Yes, there we go, scripts. ls, and I already have a script here. It's called first.sh. Let's just see what is located in first.sh. I'll use cat. Excellent. So we have this command here in my bash script. The extension for it is .sh. Don't worry about it if you don't figure it out straight away, or if it seems a bit confusing. We will simply use this script as as an example, as something that we can utilize now. But the script itself is not relevant. In fact, what the script does is unimportant except for this last part. All that it does is create new files in a specified folder. That is it, nothing else. I just needed to demonstrate how you can schedule a cron job that will run in a repeating fashion. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and type in VIM so you can get a bit of a better view of this. Where is it? First. Excellent. So there it is. This is all that you would need to write in your file. All that you need to do is basically literally type in VIM, name it whatever you want. Just remember to put .sh at the end for reference sake. So the name of mine is basically first.sh, and this is all that you need to write. I've written here that's a bash script, and down below I have written a command. I could have changed any number of commands here. I could have created loops, etc. But no, I just want to stick to something simple for the time being in terms of bash scripting, because we will do that later, and you do not have, I don't know, as far as I know, you don't have understanding of bash or of scripting in Linux. So I have decided to stick with something fairly simple until I get the chance to explain it in great detail where you will become proficient with bash. Anyway, you have the command touch, which we have dealt with before. I have written it here, and then I have specified where I want my file to be created. Aside from that, I have named my file new file hyphen or minus sign, whichever way you want to look at it. And then I have an interesting command here. It's date. This dollar sign, open parentheses and close parentheses means, as I've explained before, that this here will become a value which will be placed here, which will replace this whole thing, which will replace this whole expression. That is simple enough to understand, but date is another command which we have not used thus far, and I would like to show it to you now. So let's go ahead and see how date works and what it actually does. First, clear the screen, type in date, and by default it will print this out. Monday, 18th of May, 1400 hours, 37 minutes and 27 seconds. Let's go ahead and run it again. You see that the amount of seconds changes. And if I keep on running it, you see the amount of seconds keeps getting iterated until eventually minutes and hours are iterated as well. Let's go ahead and clear this. Now this is why is this date so important? Why have I placed it there in that file? Well, I would like to tag every file with the exact time of its creation and the date of its creation. This is very important as network administrators do very often tend to attach dates and times of creation to the file names. Several reasons for that. First of all, it makes the file names unique no matter what. It's, well, maybe not no matter what, but it's highly unlikely. Well, actually, it's impossible for your files to have the same exact, well, I would say unlikely or impossible, one of the two, I'm sure. There is nothing that is not possible in this universe, so I guess you can find some way to make the file names exactly the same, even though you are tagging them with date. Anyway, that would be one of the reasons to make the file names unique, but also another reason is that you have a clear overview of things. You know exactly when you made every single backup, when the backup was made, not the last edit date, which you can see from ls, but rather instead the creation date of the file, which is extremely convenient for you, as you all that you need to do is ls, and then you get the creation dates of all your files, and if you have named them in any meaningful manner, you will immediately know what is what, when has what been created. For that purpose, we need to create better output of the date command, because this output to attach, basically to do this, echo test dot open parentheses date. I hate this keyboard, I really do. Press enter. This would be highly inconvenient. You see what has happened here? I have echoed the word test and dot, and after dot I have attached the date to it. So it's now test, and you have this. First problem. The first problem would of course be that you have spaces in between these things, and that is definitely not convenient for file names. Not a good idea at all. Second problem is that we have too much information here. The names of the files would be too long. We would get some unnecessary things. For example, this month can be easily be represented with a number or something of a kind. We don't need it to say that it was created on Monday, and we don't need this. A year, okay, maybe, yeah, that's a year is actually not a bad idea. For this purpose, we are going to go ahead and type in date dash dash help. What would we like? Well, I would like the time, so I would get the hour and the minute and the second. Well, I don't need the second, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and use all three, but a good idea is to stick to the hour without the minutes. However, feel free to do what I've done now. It will not cause harm. So percentage %t as an argument will indeed give us the time. So it will give us the you will see it gives the hours, it gives the minutes, and it gives the seconds. This is how you would define hours, minutes, and seconds separately, and you could also exclude some of them without any bigger difficulty. Another thing that I would like to have is the date. The date is percentage %t. Let me just see if I can find it. Should be around here somewhere. Come on, please. There we go. So percentage %t is time, and that's going to give us the date pretty much. Same as, oh, sorry, not t. It's f, 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 f. I'm losing my mind here. It's f. My sincere apologies for this. We need f. The percentage %t is for time, and f is actually for date. And there you go, full date. Same as defining a year, a month, and a day separately. Again, you can use this format and then omit either a month, day, year, or something of a kind, and in such a way gain a better filter for your date output, for the output of the date command. Let's go ahead and type in date just to see how this works. Percentage D. Okay. Why isn't this working? Invalid date. Ah, okay. I know. I need a plus. Let's go back to date dash dash help. Help. If we scroll up to the top, somewhere around here at the top, there we go. Usage. So it's giving us the syntax, and you see in front of the format you have to have a plus sign. And that is what I was missing. That is what's lacking in this one. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. And we're gonna do date space percentage %t. Ah, again, I am a genius. I'm a true genius. I swear. Plus, enter, and there we go. So it's a, this is the, oops, where is it? Where is it? Come on somewhere. There we go. Excellent. So here it says 1400 hours, 44 minutes, and 8 seconds. That's what we get with this filter. Let's try adding more to this filter. Let's try percentage. This is the same way that you would, for example, say hour, minute, or second, or something of a kind. You just keep on at plus, and then just keep on adding percentage signs along with their along with the letters that correspond to the values that you desire. Let's add something else. Let's add F full time. So we got the full time. It says 2015, 5th of the 18th, but there is a problem. Well, it's not a technical problem, but it's an aesthetical problem, and therefore it's not very convenient for a human to actually read this. You see, 56 actually combines with the year, so we need to separate that. Let's go ahead and separate that with a minus sign. That seems most convenient thing to do. And there we go. Now it is completely separated. There we go. We have the... Now, I hope that you understand what I'm trying to achieve with this date command. I'm just trying to tag all the file names that will be created with the date of their creation. And that is what the bash script is all about that I have made for the purposes of this tutorial. You see, this is exactly what I have added here. If we try this in the exam without the bash script or without the cronjobs, if we just try to do it like this, I can type in touch test dot come on $, parentheses open, and then type in date space plus. We're gonna get a percentage to it. We're gonna say t, and then a hyphen in between, and again a percentage sign, and then f, and then close the bracket, press enter. Okay, didn't actually output it to the screen, but if we do ls, you see that test is now the name, the file test. This is the name of the file. Look at it. It's dot. And to be honest, most network administrators would usually forego the time part, would forego the hours, the minutes, and seconds. They would mainly go ahead and take the date, as that is rather convenient. But I don't know, I'm just putting it for the sake of the tutorial so you can see other things. Again, it's completely relevant. You can put in whatever is convenient for your purpose. You can put only hours, you can put only years, months, whatever you want, whatever is convenient, use it. You see, just adding just adding these filters is not that hard. Just go to the help menu, percentage sign, and then the corresponding letter to whatever filter you wish. Very simple. If you have any difficulties with it, of course, I am always in the discussion section. Okay, so now that we know what we are doing with this date, let's delete this as I no longer need it. Clear. And we know that the bash script has indeed been created. However, upon creating the bash script, it will not be an executable by default. And that is something that you need to take into consideration. So if I type in chmod -x first.sh, these are the sort of permissions that you will have upon your creation of this bash file, of this bash script. You see, nobody will have any execution privileges of whatsoever, and that can be problematic. I'm going to go ahead, for the sake of convenience, give execution privileges to everybody, but I have taught you how to play around with permissions in the previous tutorials. See if you can use this as an exercise to give individual groups individual file permissions. For example, try giving only the users, only the owner of the file execute permissions and nobody else. Try giving it only to the group, or try giving it to the world. chmod +x, oops, not random guy, but first sh. Excellent. Also make sure that the script is owned by your current user, or at least by a regular user. As you can see from what I've highlighted here, it is owned by random guy, the user, and it is owned by the group under the name of random guy. Okay, then, now that we have this sorted out, let's go ahead and clear this. And finally, let us go into the part that we have all been waiting for, which is cron tab. Now we're gonna create a cron job for a specific user. There are system-wide cron jobs and there are user cron jobs. For the time being, we're gonna stick to the user cron jobs, where we will go ahead and type in hyphen u hyphen u. What else shall we type in here? Yep, random guy and space. We can use L to list the current current cron jobs that exist, none exist, or we can use -E to actually enter and start editing the cron jobs. Now I am running a bit short on time here, and I will continue in the follow-up tutorial where we will create these cron jobs and where we will see what we can actually do with them from a live example, so to say. In any case, I bid you farewell, and I hope to see you in the follow-up tutorial.